Key takeaways. As we introduced you as data earlier, the more data you provide in your request, the clearer you provide these questions, the better your response, the better your answer will be. How are you defining the assumptions? You want to ask the CBO, how did this get put together? How did you walk through this information? Where did you assume a relationship, assume an adoption rate, assume a growth rate, whether it's population, inflation, or anything else? Again, what are some dynamic effects? When I'm talking about dynamic effects, I'm talking about interaction. Okay, price of ice cream, everybody's getting free ice cream, but you got to pay for the toppings. Well, maybe now these shops are selling more toppings. People are selling more chocolate syrup or nuts, more cones. These are things that could go into effect. Maybe cookie sales take a dip because everybody's buying ice cream. These are potential effects. And while this is funny with the example, as Dr. Beach highlighted, these are real effects and things to be mindful of when we're talking about these growth rate, adoption rates, and everything else. How are things going to be changing? Finally, I want to note, this is not a perfect science. Economic forecasts are basically here to make meteorologists look good. These numbers are not always going to be a perfect example. If we go back and look at a CBO score from 10 years ago and said, well, how did it impact today? Well, nothing happens in a vacuum. There's been how many hundreds, thousands of bills passed in the last 10 years that all of which may have had an impact on that CBO score. So just because we're saying it's costing $22 billion for 10 years today, well, maybe we subsidize dairy farmers. Maybe all of a sudden, we have a mad cow outbreak and we don't have dairy cows. What impacts could there be that could skew these results? Be mindful that these numbers, while the goal of them is to try and provide you an analysis, an example, it's a balance of how well we can predict something versus a true accuracy of it. If we could have perfect forecast on everything else, I'm getting the lottery numbers and retiring. I can't predict those. Nobody else can either. We do the best with the information that we have available when we walk forward.